The day I buried my only son was supposed to be the hardest day of my life. I never imagined the next blow would come from the woman he loved. She waited until the last guest left the cemetery. Then she walked toward me with a cold smile and handed me a folded envelope. Inside was a notice giving me 30 days to leave the house I had lived in for 40 years. She thought she had already won, so I smiled. I packed one small bag. I locked the front door for the last time. I left without saying a single word. The next morning she woke up to loud knocking. When she opened the door, she found two police officers standing outside with someone she never expected to see. Everything she believed she owned disappeared before lunch. Stay until the end because what happened inside that house shocked the entire neighborhood and proved that greed always has a price. Story. My name is Richard. I am 68 years old. Before this happened, I believed family was something that lasted forever. My wife Emma and I spent our entire lives building a home filled with love. We worked overtime. We skipped vacations. We sacrificed everything so our son Daniel could have opportunities we never had. Daniel grew into a kind and hard-working man. He respected everyone and never forgot where he came from. When he introduced us to his future wife Olivia, she seemed caring and respectful. She smiled often. She always called us mom and dad. She brought flowers when she visited. She looked like the perfect daughter-in-law. After they married, everything slowly changed. Olivia started controlling every conversation. She wanted Daniel to spend less time with us. Holidays became shorter. Phone calls became rare. Every decision had to go through her first. Daniel noticed it too, but he always said he was trying to keep peace in his marriage. One evening he visited me alone. He looked exhausted. He admitted Olivia constantly talked about money. She believed my house should belong to them immediately instead of someday. She wanted to renovate it and sell it for a huge profit. I laughed because I thought he was joking. He did not laugh. He simply looked down and said she would not let the subject go. I told him not to worry. I said the house was only bricks and wood. Family mattered more than property. I wish I had known those words would haunt me. Months later, Daniel died in a terrible highway accident while returning home from work. My entire world collapsed. Nothing prepares a parent for burying their child. At the funeral, I could barely stand. Friends hugged me. Neighbors cried beside me. The church became silent as Daniel was lowered into the ground. When the ceremony ended, people slowly walked away. I stayed behind. I wanted one last moment with my son. That was when Olivia approached me. She was wearing black, but there were no tears in her eyes. She handed me a sealed envelope. She calmly said, "You have 30 days to leave my house." For a second, I thought grief had affected my hearing. I opened the envelope. It was a legal notice demanding I vacate the property. She claimed Daniel had become the rightful owner before his death, and she had inherited everything. I looked at her. She expected me to argue. She expected me to cry. Instead, I folded the paper. I smiled. I told her I hoped the house brought her happiness. Then I walked away. My neighbors thought I had surrendered. They had no idea what Daniel had secretly done 6 months earlier. The truth began months before his accident. One afternoon, Daniel unexpectedly asked me to meet him at a lawyer's office. He confessed Olivia kept pressuring him to convince me to transfer ownership of my home. She even prepared documents for me to sign. Daniel refused. Instead, he wanted to protect me. The lawyer explained that my home was held inside a family trust created after my wife passed away. The trust clearly stated I would remain the lifetime owner and resident. No spouse, no child, no future inheritance could remove me while I was alive. Even more importantly, the trust contained another clause. Anyone attempting to obtain the property through deception or fraudulent documents would immediately lose every future interest connected to the trust. Daniel insisted that clause remain exactly as written. He said, "Dad, I hope we never need it." After his funeral, I remembered every word. That night, I packed one suitcase and stayed with an old friend. I never contacted Olivia. I never threatened her. I simply waited. The next morning, Olivia arrived at the house with movers. She proudly told them they could begin removing furniture. Minutes later, a black sedan stopped outside. 2 police officers stepped out. Behind them was the attorney who had helped Daniel. The officers informed Olivia they had received a report regarding suspected forged ownership documents submitted after Daniel's death. The attorney produced the original trust. He also presented surveillance footage from the law office proving Daniel had personally rejected transferring ownership. The forged paperwork Olivia submitted did not match any official records. The officers asked her several questions. Her confidence disappeared. She insisted there had been a misunderstanding. The attorney quietly explained there was no misunderstanding. Because she knowingly presented false ownership claims, she had activated the penalty clause. Every financial benefit she expected from the trust was gone. The movers quietly loaded their truck and left. Neighbors watched everything from their windows. By afternoon, the entire street knew the truth. The investigation continued for several weeks. Experts confirmed signatures on several documents had been altered. Electronic records revealed repeated attempts to access confidential legal files without permission. The case never became about revenge. It became about accountability. Eventually, Olivia accepted a legal settlement that required her to withdraw every false claim. She moved away. The house remained exactly where it had always been. Months later, I planted a tree in Daniel's memory in the front yard. Children played nearby. Neighbors often stopped to talk. Life slowly returned. One evening, Daniel's closest friend visited me. He handed me a small notebook Daniel had kept inside his office desk. The final page contained a handwritten message. "If you are reading this, something happened to me. Dad gave me everything without asking for anything back. Please protect him because he would never fight for himself." I sat on the porch holding those words. For the first time since the funeral, I cried without shame. Not because I had lost my home, but because my son had protected me even after he was gone. Every time I look at that tree, I remember Daniel. Greed tried to erase our family. Love made sure it never could. Some people believe silence means weakness. Sometimes silence is confidence. I did not need revenge because the truth defended itself. My son left behind more than memories. He left behind integrity. Property can be replaced. Money can disappear. But honesty always leaves. The strongest legacy. If this story taught you anything, let it be this. Never underestimate the quiet person who knows the truth. Please like this video. Share it with your friends and family. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more emotional family stories every week.